On this week's show, Peloton is partnering with the NBA and has launched in Austria.
New split strength classes with Rebecca and Andy, more rowing classes with members in the studio, and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 150. The 50s count, right? Of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Thank you. Good to see you, my lady.
The 50s count.
You don't get a shout out for
50s count. We
don't get a shout out for the
150 episodes. Well, I got to tell you, I think I'm pretty proud about that. That's pretty awesome. So
people still listening and watching?
They are still listening and watching. And after this past week, I think we will have more people listening and watching and recognizing that Pelo Buddy is the right place to come to for their news. Very, very interesting. But yeah, you're doing okay?
Yeah, it's been a good, just a regular week. Nothing exciting happening on the home front here in Michigan, other than just working and working out.
All right.
What about you? What about you? How's things down in Miami?
Things, as everybody can imagine, have been, pretty much status quo for us with what's going on around the world. So it definitely, makes you stop and think. And it is interesting because, as you say, nothing interesting for you. And yet there's no question that between, the Jewish community, etc., and the Palestinian community, this isn't fun for anybody. Nobody wants to see what's going on around the world. So, it definitely has not motivated me to want to be working out, which is very unfortunate because I think I said last week, this is when you really do need to work out. But thanks to Jen Sherman and her beautiful monologue that she gave on her Instagram and told folks to go out and work out and throw some heavies around, right? So I think that is something that we all have to heed to, because I think there's no question that working out and being on the platform can be, that mental break that everybody needs. So for those of you that haven't been working out, work out, and that includes me. Done some nice movement, which has been good. Yeah, right. Because movement is medicine and music is magic. And what are the other stuff that everybody says? So but again, we have lots to chat to you guys about this week. So as always, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
Yep, and you can always listen to us if you're on the go and just want to hear the audio. Of course, we're on all traditional podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV. Be sure to ring that bell for notifications so you never miss an update or an episode, and be sure to subscribe to us, obviously. And please leave us those 5-star reviews that we love to read on the show from time to time. We do appreciate those, and we really take the feedback into account on ways that we can improve and enhance the show. So please keep those coming.
Absolutely. And of course, folks, we are on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. And now, John, let's get on with the show.
All right.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Well, we kick off today's show with the exciting announcement that Peloton has shared that they have a multi-year partnership with the NBA and WNBA, becoming an official fitness partner. The partnership will enrich Peloton's content offering, bringing a unique blend of fitness and sports through the NBA and WNBA themed classes, which could attract basketball fans to the platform. So maybe those folks that kind of hadn't really been drawn towards the Peloton platform but love basketball now will have a reason to jump on different modalities and workouts. The NBA and WNBA themed Peloton classes will be offered across various modalities throughout each league's respective seasons. Additionally, the NBA League Pass will be integrated into the Peloton entertainment feature. So this will now allow members to watch the games on their devices. The NBA is also launching a new NBA fitness platform dedicated to health and wellness, where Peloton will play a significant role in creating co-branded fitness classes and original content. The partnership will enrich Peloton's content offering, bringing a unique blend of fitness and sports through NBA and WNBA themed classes, as I said, which hopefully will attract those basketball fans. So definitely something fun. And I think this is kind of a cool partnership. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's always great when they can, expand the brand especially into other, sports arenas, like pro basketball. And I know, Jess Sims I know this makes her excited with her affiliation with WNBA and is it New York Liberty?
Yeah. And
Annie
Love,
Allie,
right? Yeah.
She does something with the Brooklyn Nets.
Nets, correct.
She's
I think she's the host, isn't she? What
do they call her? Like the in-arena host or something along those lines. Like when there's a timeout or commercial timeout, they cut to her and she's like live somewhere, interacting with the folks, with the fans in the
cool.
arena. Yeah.
Very cool. Is that what Jess does as well? Does Jess do the same thing?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she does something pretty similar.
100% sure. Okay. Yeah, kind of fun. I think they're trying to get in wherever they can in these different, sports, as you say, sports arenas out there and incorporating it in. I mean, just by bringing, the whole thing that they're doing with Michigan and bringing the bikes, with
the college program.
The college program in football. It's definitely kind of cool and just kind of getting out there. I guess they're doing whatever they can.
Brand awareness can't hurt.
Yeah. So that's an exciting partnership.
Yeah. And also in recent news, Peloton announced that weekly rowing classes will take place in person with members at Peloton Studios New York beginning in November. They recently shared the news via the Peloton Studios Instagram stories. So beginning November 10th, there will be one rowing class with live studio participants every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Like I said, at PSNY. Bookings for the inaugural weekend went live this past Thursday, the 19th, on the studio booking site at noon Eastern. I assume they filled up, just like everything.
Like hotcakes. They were gone.
If you can't get into, I'm sure for anyone who tried to, get into cycling, maybe they jumped at the chance to get into a row class.
Right.
One little caveat, though. The rowing classes at PSNY, they're filmed in the strength studio, meaning there will be 8 spots available for members to book. So over the course of that weekend, those 3 classes, 24 spots total across those 3 classes. So in addition, Peloton will be adjusting the strength schedule to allow for in-person rowing classes. So, for example, Andy Speer, who normally teaches every Sunday morning, or almost every Sunday morning, his signature 60-minute total strength class, normally at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Sundays, that's going to conflict. So they've shifted his class now to 8 a.m. Eastern time Sunday, which I think is a little
early for a 60-minute strength, right?
Yeah, I think that TS60 definitely takes priority over the rowing class, but I guess they just want to keep that time consistent across, I guess, the 3 days that they have members in the studio for it. So, yeah, just one thing to note: if you want to take his class Sunday mornings, it's going to be an earlier. That'd be kind of a tough pill to swallow for Andy. I'm sure he's got to get up like at 6 a.m. now or 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. So,
especially for a 60-minute strength
sucks to be you, bro. I know.
Yeah, that is pretty hectic.
But it'll be interesting to see. I haven't done a rowing class with members in the studio yet, so it'll be interesting to see how much of the members you see in the background. There's no mirrors there, so it's just certain camera angles. You just catch a little bit of someone.
Kind of like the yoga studio,
So,
I guess.
I mean, the yoga studio, you barely see anybody in the background.
Correct.
I mean, maybe at the end of the class when someone's arm is stretching and they're blocking the camera view a little bit there. But yeah, the yoga, they barely show anybody.
Those first two spots in the yoga studio, you sometimes will see folks. So yeah, I'm curious to see. Although in the strength class, you do see members, don't you? I'm trying to think.
You do on the sides. You do on the sides closest to the back wall that is behind the instructor. Yeah, those are kind of the primo camera angles. If you're against that back wall that the instructors face, with the tablet on the screen, you don't get seen.
You don't feature. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on, we had shared previously that Peloton had been talking about expanding its markets in Europe, and now it's official. On October 17th, they announced that they have launched in Austria. So this marks the first country expansion in over 2 years. The Austrian market will have access to the Bike Plus, Tread, and of course the app. Notably, though, this launch includes a partnership with third-party sellers like Amazon and Sport TJ, differing from previous launches where purchases were made directly from Peloton. So the decision to partner with a third-party seller aims to really make Peloton more accessible to a broader audience. So it kind of makes sense as opposed to, since they've taken away that footprint of having showrooms that folks can
the warehouse and
it does kind of make sense. It is also important to note that since German is predominantly spoken in Austria and Peloton already has German-speaking instructors and German subtitled classes, it seems like it is a pretty strategic move to expand in a market where language won't be a significant barrier. So makes sense for that to be kind of that next country that they're going into, as opposed to looking at going into a French market, for example, and going into France or, something like that. So, interesting to see how that takes off.
Nice. Well, in other expansion news, Peloton is expanding their official refurbished bike program to the United Kingdom, to Germany, as well as to Australia. Peloton shared the news recently via a press release. So beginning this past October 18th, refurbished original Peloton bikes will be available to purchase online and in retail stores in both the United Kingdom and Germany. The UK-based customers will pay £995, and Germany-based customers will pay $990. These prices include delivery and setup. The all-access membership, the monthly fee, is not included, obviously. But to give some background, the refurbished Peloton bike program is already available for sale in both countries via eBay, launching in Germany back in August of 2022 and in the UK in December of 2022. However, this will be the first time pre-owned devices are available directly from Peloton's website and retail stores rather than through like an online seller, third party. The refurbished bikes are soft launching in Australia. So according to the Australia Peloton Certified Refurbished Bike Support page, customers can reach out to Inside Sales AU at onepeloton.com to inquire about the availability of a refurbished bike, as limited quantities are right now in
Australia.
In Australia, in their inventories.
Interesting. So we'll see how that takes off. Yeah, I guess they're trying it all over. All right. Well, talking about Australia, Peloton has appointed Kathryn Carter as the new general manager for their operations in Australia. So Kathryn, who has previously held roles at Snap Incorporated and News Corp, will be responsible for driving growth and overseeing various functions such as retail, operations, marketing and communications, and business partnerships in Australia. Kathryn's appointment seems strategic, leveraging her deep understanding of the Australian market and experience in scaling global brand regionally to drive Peloton's growth in the country. Kathryn brings a wealth of experience, having worked for companies like Snapchat and News Corp, and is excited to build on the momentum for the Peloton brand in Australia. She replaces Amanda Gilmore, who will now oversee Peloton's United Kingdom business and market expansion strategy, which indicates a broader focus on market expansion and strategic positioning in various geographical locations. So interesting that there was kind of a swap there. But we'll see kind of how that market, because I do feel like the Australian market has kind of stagnated.
It's been kind of quiet. Yeah.
Very, very. I almost feel bad for them. They don't have any instructors down there. I mean, yeah, Kira Michelle's an Australian, instructor, but she's not an Australian, she's not in Australia. They don't really have anything that they have tangible that they can see.
Yeah.
So, as I said it before, I'm really surprised they didn't do Peloton on tour down there, that they didn't make a point of sending instructors out, down under and get to have them feel a part of the community, because it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah. Well, let's see, over the next year, kind of how it grows. And then, massive cost. Obviously, Chris Giles is weighing in. Obviously, to send everybody down there. Yeah, there's a lot.
Of course. I mean, I get, I get that. Definitely get that. But still, anyway, my 2 cents on that.
Well, a small update regarding the Tread Plus, in the recent news that the Tread Plus sales are going to resume finally after, over 3 years now, I think, almost 3 years that it's been recalled and not available for sale. There will be no trade-in program. So anyone that has the Peloton Tread, Peloton, according to some recent comments they made on social media, there's no sort of trade-in program. They've commented on several people's comments on social media posts saying we will not be offering trade-in options for the Peloton Tread at this time. If you recall, back in the fall of 2020, when the Bike Plus was released around October, Peloton was offering a deal where if you had purchased the original Peloton bike within the last 30 or 60 days, I want to say, or maybe even 90 days, you could just trade in your bike. They would basically pick it up and then deliver you the Bike Plus. And I can't remember if there was some sort of difference that they factored in that they applied towards the Bike Plus, but we actually took advantage of that with our second bike. And only because we had some sort of issue with it and they couldn't come out to repair it because of all the quarantine protocols. So basically they were like, oh, since you had this issue since within like the first 30 days of when you got the bike in March of 2020, you qualify for the trade-in. So basically they took the old bike, the original bike, and then brought the Bike Plus at that time whenever it first came out, that fall of 2020. But yeah, for anyone that was hoping, that gave in and finally, bit the bullet and just got the Tread because they were tired of waiting for the Tread Plus. Unfortunately, there's no offer. And I'm sure that's a major cost where they'd have to send somebody out, break it down, disassemble it, take it away. It's probably it's not in their interest to offer that for when the new Tread Plus goes back online.
All right. Well, there are 2 new split programs that have been introduced. A new advanced 3-day split program, strength training program led by Andy Speer, and a new intermediate level 5-day split strength program led by Rebecca Kennedy. The program with Andy is a 1-week program. and it is designed to be repeated over time, kind of allowing participants to track their progress. The program includes 3 classes focusing on different parts of the body, while Rebecca's program is a 5-day split program, also designed to be retaken and repeated. Her program includes 5 classes focusing on different body parts. So members that do these programs can earn a badge upon completion of the program, of the classes. But unlike previous launches, these programs are not exclusive to the guide. So they are available to all users, which is kind of exciting for those folks that don't have the guide. And, there are a lot of folks that just love Rebecca and Andy's strength classes. So they are part of Peloton's effort to kind of enhance its strength training content, providing a structured pathway for members to improve their strength and fitness. So are you going to finally do strength now, John?
Finally, do more strength.
Do more strength.
Yes.
All right. Do more.
Yes.
Strength.
Besides, my problem is doing standalone strength outside of boot camps.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, because that's where I get the majority of my strength. Yeah, it's just
makes sense.
I know.
Makes sense.
Maybe I'll finally use that guide that's been set up and sitting above the basement TV.
Let's not go there.
Just waiting. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. Gosh. Well, shifting gears a little bit to artist series, we've got a new artist series. Peloton announced full details of their next artist series, which has just happened. It features British singer-songwriter Craig David, who is real popular in the UK. He rose to fame in 1999 with his single Rewind by Artful Dodger. His debut studio album, Born to Do It, was released back in 2000. And since then, he's released 5 studio albums. He's worked with a number of well-known established artists like Sting, Tinchy Stryder, Big Narsty, Kano, Jay Sean. Huge in the UK. He's got 20 UK top 40 singles and 7 UK top 40 albums. He sold over 15 million records worldwide as a solo artist.
Wow.
But
never heard of him.
Series launched. I haven't heard of him either. But the series launched this past Thursday, the 19th. We got 5 classes across 3 modalities. There's a strength class, 2 cycling, and 2 running. 2 classes were live, 1 dropped straight to on demand, and a couple were premieres. But there was a 20-minute full body strength with Jess Sims that dropped on the 19th. That was on demand. A 30-minute ride with Hannah Frankson that was live on the afternoon of the 19th, followed by a 10-minute Craig David cool down ride with Leanne that premiered right after the Hannah ride concluded. And then also at the same time as the Hannah ride, there was a 30-minute Craig David run with Jermaine Johnson on the afternoon of the 19th. And then following that live run, there was a 10-minute premiere of the Craig David cool down run with Susie Chan on the afternoon of the 19th. So those are all out there now and available if you haven't already taken any of those.
All right. Well, it sounds like the UK have been busy because this month celebrates UK Black History Month, honoring the deep richness of the Black culture in the UK. Peloton, of course, celebrated it with classes from Jocelyn, Hannah, Jermaine, Jeffrey, and Cliff. There was a 30-minute walk with Jocelyn on the 8th at 7 a.m. Eastern. There was a 30-minute ride with Cliff in German on the 13th of October. Bradley Rose actually had a 20-minute ride on Sunday the 14th, celebrating the month and bringing in Black music culture in there, which was apparently really, really good. Jeffrey McEachin had a 30-minute run. That was on the 15th. Hannah Frankson had a 30-minute ride on the 21st. And this coming week, there will be a 20-minute full body strength class with Jermaine Johnson on the 24th. So if you've missed some of the live ones, there will be one. It's at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. So again, not sure who's getting up to do strength training that early, but there may be some folk. But that will drop, I believe the 24th is on Tuesday. So celebrating Black History Month in the UK.
Great. Well, shifting gears a little bit, Peloton released a statement on Wednesday, the 18th, regarding the terrorist attacks in Israel. It was initially posted on onepeloton.com in the press release news section. And then I did notice that they shared it on Thursday. They shared it in the Peloton Studios and One Peloton Instagram stories, where it was reposted there. They state, in the aftermath of the horrifying terrorist attacks on Israel, we affirm Peloton stands with our Jewish colleagues and community members. As this humanitarian crisis continues to unfold, we stand with our Palestinian and Jewish team members and members. We stand against terrorism and violence of any kind, particularly against innocent civilians anywhere in the world. We mourn the loss of innocent lives and offer our sympathy and support for all who are grieving. We stand against hate. We stand against anti-Semitism. We stand against Islamophobia. We stand for basic human rights. We stand for equality. And I noticed, a lot of, either way, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. I know a lot of people were saying too little, too late. I think it's just kind of like a difficult,
I think it is,
for any company to address it.
Look,
and obviously it's difficult for the instructors. I noticed Jess Sims, she shared something in her stories about how she'd been wanting to speak up
King.
and just,
I think Jess King.
Sorry, Jess King.
Yeah, Jess King.
Yeah, Jess King. Wanting to speak up and, finding the right words and being sensitive. And it's just, I think it's just a difficult, because either way they're going to get criticism.
Correct.
Which they did for this.
Right. I mean, I think we're in a situation, and, again, we spoke about it last week. I think we're in a situation where you're right. I think you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I do think that as a community, I think Peloton were a little late to the table. I think that they should have reacted last week with exactly a statement like they did, but reacted last week. I think, almost 11 days after, the world kind of, imploded, which is what's happening. It was definitely something that all community needed. So, again, I appreciate that something did come out, and nobody wants to see this move any further along than it is. I mean, everybody wants the same. Hopefully everybody wants the same, certainly in the Peloton community, and that is peace. And that is the ability to, move on and try and figure out how we, get beyond this, because yes, thousands and thousands of lives have been lost, and it's awful. And I can't imagine for the instructors how they must feel, because it is a platform that they have and voices that they have, right? That we expect from them. So it's got to be hard for them, because, nobody wants to be on the wrong side of either, of either cause or either side. And there is sides, unfortunately, ultimately. So, I think, Jess King's statement was very heartfelt. Certainly hearing Jen and seeing her on her rides these last 2 weeks have been, certainly for the Jewish members, excruciating. It's so hard to watch her struggle through this and yet still have to be on a platform. I'm interested to see.
I shared a couple clips of Jen, being emotional, saying, I haven't been able to find the right words, and breaking down at a couple of different points in her rides. And I got criticism from some people saying that it was very one-sided, because I posted, my love, I'm sending all love to Jen Sherman and our Jewish members, but then a lot of people say that's one-sided. And I'm just posting.
Right.
I'm trying to show support, but obviously it's a tricky situation, because I don't want to upset people unnecessarily. But
of course not. But I think one realizes, John, what I've realized over the last 10 days is, ultimately it is about the loss of life, regardless of whether it's Israeli life or Palestinian life. It's the loss of life. And that you're dealing with something incredibly sensitive. But a war occurred, there was an attack, and people are reacting to that. So, you'll always get the side that will say, well, it was deserved or whatever, whatever else it is. So it's going to be an interesting few weeks ahead of us to see. But as I said before, the platform is somewhere where we come to lose ourselves. And I feel so
where we
sad
escape from
that
all that.
exactly. Yeah. And we have, look, I know that as I said last week, I've gotten the most incredible support, and, maybe I've lost 10 followers. I don't have, certainly not even remotely what you have as a following base. I have a big enough voice. I don't want those 10 followers. If they don't like what I'm saying, then, but I'm trying to promote just peace and sadness. I'm sad for the world. I'm sad for what potentially could happen here in the States. Everything boils over into America. And, as Jen, as a Jewish woman, is obviously going to be one-sided. I mean, what else do people expect? And I think that you were just highlighting that as one of your favorite instructors. So,
Right.
So yeah, look, again, from my perspective, I do appreciate that Peloton have said something. I know that, there's been stuff back and forth. I know that Jen Cotter has been amazing in her responses to people, recognizing if people have come forward and, have brought stuff to their attention, they have addressed it, and that I appreciate. So nothing's been swept under the rug, which I think is great. And I guess, we'll kind of go from there, and see what happens. So yeah, do appreciate that. All right.
Yeah.
Halloween is around the corner, and Peloton have a new Halloween 2023 Flash Challenge that they have introduced. I believe this is a first for truly like celebrating Halloween in that perspective, in being able to have a challenge. It is gone from this past Wednesday, the 18th, and it will run right through to the 31st. Members can earn badges by taking Halloween-themed classes with that 3-badge tier. So you'd get that bronze, silver, and gold with the number of classes that are ultimately completed. It does include a variety of classes across all the different fitness modalities, such as rides, run, yoga, and strength. Members can opt into the challenge via the website, the app, or their hardware device. And it's interesting, but the Halloween collection on Peloton includes both new and the previous year, the previous themed classes that maybe you guys have missed. So you can incorporate that into your challenge because they do count. So, if you want to go back and do one of Maddie's hysterical runs or walks, you can do those, and those will be included into the challenge. So that was kind of fun to see.
So any noteworthy upcoming Halloween-themed classes that are on the schedule currently?
Well, we've got Maddie's on Sunday, the 29th. And I don't know.
Anything on cycling?
I haven't seen anything specific on cycling. I have seen, I did see, there was something that
I feel like
saw.
Cody, even though maybe if it's not on schedule, I feel like he will have something where he obviously dresses up.
That he'll dress up.
I don't know. It could just be labeled as a 30-minute pop, but he might be in Halloween costume.
Like in a costume. Yeah. So,
like
Halloween falls on a Tuesday this year. So there would be no members.
And he does teach. He does teach on Tuesday
that day. So
yeah, he teaches Tuesday nights at 7.
Interesting.
So maybe
the only thing that I see that's labeled Halloween is specifically Maddie's. Oh, Marcel has a Halloween run. Susie has a Halloween run. So Susie and Marcel, Marcel's Halloween run is a premiere, but Susie's is live. So I'm sure she'll probably dress up, and that is on Sunday morning.
Jess Sims will have a Halloween TS6. Jess Sims will have a Halloween Saturday 6 day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
I know, and that's why I said I'm sure.
One thing I can confirm that's disappointing though is Matt Wilpers will not have a Halloween ride or run or row this year. I had messaged him a week or two ago because last year he didn't do one. I think the year before that he dressed up as Olivia.
I remember that. Oh my goodness, it was hysterical. Yeah.
And I messaged him, and I message him every year. He's like, no, not this year. Unfortunately, this year he's not doing one. I don't
Oh,
know
that's
why
interesting.
you didn't have one planned, but yeah, there's no,
Yeah,
his were so,
actually,
because he
but
gets so into the character.
I
So,
am looking though. There were a ton of Halloween classes on that weekend. There is Sam's doing a Disney villains ride, which I'm sure he'll dress
okay.
up for.
I'm sure
Hannah
Andy Speer will be dressed up.
Hannah Corbin. Oh, and John has his at the club that's coming back. So he's doing it Halloween themed, and that's Sunday.
So maybe he'll be like a
he
70s
so
disco swinger.
maybe oh yeah, maybe. Well, last year I was actually in London for his Halloween run, and there were technical difficulties, and he dressed up. He was amazing, but there were technical difficulties, and it never went to on
And it
demand.
never aired.
It never
Bummer.
aired. But I remember
Damn.
I was in that class. Bex has a Halloween run. Leanne has a Halloween ride. There's tons. I mean, Mariana has
Okay.
a flow. Maddie has his walk, obviously, which is everyone's waiting for. Ali has a ride. Ross has a Halloween themed yoga flow. Eric Yeager, Camilla. So they're definitely going all out. And it looks like it is primarily on Sunday. So Sunday, the 21st is kind of, the 29th, excuse me, is when Peloton look to be celebrating Halloween, which will be tons of fun.
Because we'll have members there. So.
Exactly.
Nice. All right. Well, we have a live class coming up in Vegas, of all places. 2 new Peloton events have appeared on the Chase credit card experiences website. An in-person strength class with 2 instructors in Las Vegas, which is during the Formula One Las Vegas Grand Prix weekend. A cycling class with Emma Lovewell, which will actually be at PSNY. But the Las Vegas event is a 30-minute bodyweight strength class with Selena Samuela and Bex Gentry, which is taking place on Saturday, November 18th at 10 a.m. at the Park MGM Hotel. The official description of it reads, join Sapphire Reserve for an exhilarating experience at the first of its kind live 30-minute bodyweight strength class during Las Vegas race weekend. Get ready to sweat it out after a night of fun with 2 of your favorite Peloton instructors in a high energy workout session right on the iconic Vegas Strip. After this 30-minute workout class, enjoy a meet and greet with the instructors. And following that class, attendees will be invited to brunch at the Nomad Pool rooftop, along with a variety of wellness-themed activities. Yes, Bex Gentry is a big Formula One fan, so obviously this is right in her wheelhouse.
Makes sense, yeah.
Attendees will also receive complimentary access to the Park MGM spa lounges to get ready for brunch and a special gift. The event cost is $19,500 of your Chase points, reward points, or $195 per person. And you have to be at least 21 years of age or older to participate. And then, like I said, in addition to the Las Vegas event, there's also an exclusive cycling class for the Chase Sapphire members at PSNY with Emma on Friday, November 17th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And as of publishing of this article, the class is already sold out. Only a waitlist option is available. But the offer, it was available initially for members to sign up for $35 or 3,500 Chase reward points. And there's no, it includes a standard ride and photo opportunity, but there's no like special event or activity like there is in Vegas after the cycling class at PSNY. Right. But it'll be, it'll drop on demand and it'll air live like it normally does, on the schedule.
Nice.
But yeah, earlier this year, Peloton and Chase, they had renewed their ongoing partnership through 2025. So this is just one of many future, exclusive deals that they've done.
All right, good. All right, well, moving back to row, Peloton has expanded the PR badges for distance in rowing workouts. So these badges, first added to the Peloton tread earlier this year, are awarded when members achieve their fastest time traveling certain distances, so such as 500 meters, 1 kilometer, and up to 10 kilometers. However, these badges will only appear on the member's workout history for that specific workout or on a profile overview page if it's one of the newest badges. The PR badges are not retroactive and only consider workouts done after the introduction of the feature. There have also been a few new feature updates recently. Moving forward, there was the iOS got a 30-second fast forward and rewind button. So now for those of you who would like to go ahead and screen record your shout outs, John Pruitt, or a specific part of the class, that part was actually for you, a specific part of the class, so you can make it into a reel. You can now hit the 30-second rewind button to get to the part you want to get to. Also, the web browser is now offering the auto-playing video preview of classes as well. So I actually wanted to ask you guys this, and certainly you, John, is I do not have any volume on my on my app.
I don't either. There's no sound.
Okay.
No.
But some people have told me that there is sound. So I'm curious to know, it is muted. All right.
Muted,
Control room is telling me it's muted. So maybe they were mistaken then. All right. Well, that was interesting. Yeah. That was interesting to note. That was interesting.
You said there was when you pull up a class on the app and play it, you said there's a 30-second rewind. Is there a 30-second or 15-second fast forward?
Yes, fast forward. Sorry,
nice.
Fast forward and rewind. So
cool.
You can go back or forward with that, which I think is kind of
nice. So you don't no more sort of dragging the
exactly,
time bar.
exactly,
Cool.
Exactly. Which is kind of cool. Yeah.
So, it's the little things, Amanda.
Isn't it just the little things? Absolutely, John. I'm with you on that for those shout outs.
Well, I decided that I would give the update on class purges this week. So I assigned that to myself.
That, John. I appreciate that.
So, yes, I figured I'd give you a break, not be the bearer of bad news. So this week, Peloton performed a small purge of classes from Friday, October 13th. But this was different from the routine class library maintenance that members have grown accustomed to in the past weeks. Instead of removing 2 or 3 continuous weeks of content, as that has been the case for several months now, only a few classes spread out over a wider length of time were targeted with this one. Moreover, there's not an obvious connection between the classes that were removed on this recent purge. For example, as reported to us by midwife Lexi, there were 3 classes taught by Bex Gentry that have disappeared that past Friday. They took place more than 2 years apart. One of the classes is even from earlier this year, and there also doesn't appear to be a single artist who was on all 3 of these playlists, so just very random. But the 3 classes of Bex that were removed in this recent purge were a 45-minute pop run from February 20th, 2021, a 30-minute recovery from May 10th of 2022, and a 30-minute intervals run from March 15th of 2023. So we haven't found any kind of correlation or connection. Chris Lewis figures, he looks at every angle, he looks at all the data, crunches all the numbers, and completely random. Other instructors had a handful of classes removed as well, similarly spread out over a longer length of time. So this was more of just a random purge, it seems, not focused on a specific block of weeks like they normally do.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do next week.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Lexi though, because I know that she was trying to complete Bex's library and was trying to beat the Purge. So I hope Lexi, you were able to get those classes in.
I was going to say, how did she figure out those
Yeah,
specific
yeah, I
ones? I
think
guess
that's
maybe she
how.
had them in a stack
She must have had them in a
or
stack or
somewhere. Yeah.
exactly. But I know that I've been following along with her and she's been trying to beat the Purge and get all of Bex's, she's trying to complete her whole library, which I think is kind of cool. So yeah, a shout out to Lexi for that. All right. And then, for those of you that felt that you were left in the dark, or left out in the dark, with the Little Words project or the Lululemon Peloton collaboration and weren't able to purchase stuff on time, they have had a restock. So folks can now buy several of the Little Words project bracelets that they may have missed previously, as well as some of the hot and highly coveted Lululemon Peloton collab pieces. So some things have been restocked and you can pull them up off the Peloton Apparel website. So yeah. Nice. All right, John, let's go right into Instructor in the News. And I guess you're up first.
Yes, and Camilla Ramon was recently interviewed for People magazine. The title of the article is Peloton's Camilla Ramon on silencing her inner tia toxica and learning to love herself. She talks a lot about being born in Argentina, growing up in Miami, and struggling with, body positivity issues, having family members, comment on her weight and her body, and her constantly, skipping meals and having that obsession to constantly exercise to sort of, fit in this box of being skinny, and just, said how it really wasn't healthy at all. And she said how in the interview, I really wanted to fit in with the rest of the girls, Camilla tells People. She says, from middle school onward, the girls in question were members of her dance team. She said, I looked at myself in the mirror. I had wider hips. I thought there was something wrong with me. And I would think, why can't my hips look like the rest of the girls? It was very dangerous what I was doing at the time. But she says her self-acceptance challenges, they didn't bring it at school. She remembers relatives making body shaming comments, that had obviously a negative impact on her. It was probably one of my biggest struggles growing up, she said. Embracing my body and loving who I am, what I look like. I think the images that we see as Latinas, especially in Latin media, it's not conducive to celebrating body diversity, self-love, and self-acceptance. Peloton fans may have heard her refer to your tia toxica, which is a toxic family member. She says, as a Latina, when you go home and you visit your family, there's always this one person that comments about your body. I feel like there's that family member in every
I was just going to say
every circle, like that one uncle or aunt that's totally inappropriate,
right?
About your body, about your relationship status. She said, so it's common to hear you're looking a little thicker, or what's up with your boyfriend, or you going to eat all that? You shouldn't be lifting weights. You're going to look manly. These types of narratives are very common. And obviously they had an impact. And she said after college, she was tired of training. She stopped working out for 3 years. Her first step towards self-acceptance came when she eventually returned to fitness and developed a different mindset around that. It happened nearly a decade ago when she was standing on Miami's Key Biscayne Bridge after a 5-mile run as part of her attempt to slim down. She says, I got to the top of the bridge. I broke down crying because I was so frustrated about all of the workouts that I had been doing and how my body had not changed. And she says, the mindset switch wasn't immediate. 30-minute walks with friends and taking dance classes just for fun followed, but it took consistent work and daily affirmations to learn to love herself. It was a great interview.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know what? I must say, I really appreciate it with someone that's always struggled, with my weight and with body image and that type of thing. It's just, it's so helpful to hear someone who's fit and healthy and isn't, skinny, just to be open and raw about it. So, took me many, many years to get there. She's a lot younger than I am. So good for her and good for speaking out about it. Because I think that it definitely is helpful, especially for someone.
A lot of people.
Yeah. Especially for someone who does, like myself, who does work out. And I have I think over the years probably gained and lost, 300 pounds back and forth. But it's, you're always trying to fit into that specific box, and it's tough, and I think ultimately it's just got to be about being healthy and moving your body more so than, than an appearance. But society have made us like that. So good for her for speaking out. I must say, I really enjoyed reading that article. I think it was great. It was awesome. All right. Well, Sam Yo, he was featured in BroadwayWorld.com. As we shared previously, Sam recently fulfilled a long life dream by performing as the King in The King and I, marking his return to musical theater. In the interview with BroadwayWorld.com, Sam shared his journey, expressing how Peloton improved his performance awareness and his confidence on stage, which I thought was really interesting to hear, just by being in front of members and having to constantly perform, because ultimately, that's what they are doing. He detailed his preparation, balancing Peloton classes with rehearsals and personal practice. He shared that he felt a strong connection to the role, appreciating the representation it offered to the Asian community. He also expressed hope to continue performing in the West End and possibly in other musicals like Chicago or Hamilton. So it'll be interesting to see if he does end up, doing some more shows. But good for him.
That's to add to his credits.
That's
great. Well, Kendall Toole recently spoke at the Indianapolis Colts Beyond the Stigma event. She posted on Instagram this past week. She said it was such an honor to get to speak at the second annual Beyond the Stigma event benefiting the Colts. Kicking the Stigma Action Grant. Over $1.1 million was raised that evening alongside such lovely, raw, and vulnerable stories shared. It's such a testament that in life, our darkest moments can always be restored to be a powerful light, and I am so moved and inspired by the commitment and tireless work at Callan Jackson puts into changing our public narrative on mental health. She posted a clip of her, speaking at the podium at the event, kind of sharing some of her struggles, with mental health that she's shared about in interviews, and has not been afraid to hold back on her struggles when she was younger and in college. But I thought it was really cool. The owner of the Colts, Jim Isray, he's a massive music fan, and he has this insane guitar collection. So it was a great event. I don't want to minimize that, but I was very captivated by some of the pictures of this huge guitar case
that he had
of some of the most famous rock guitars that Isray has come to collect over the year. Like, he's got a Jimi Hendrix Fender, he's got a David Gilmour from Pink Floyd. He's got my favorite guitar of all time, which is Jerry Garcia's Tiger guitar. So I was I immediately zeroed in on that because he bought that at auction back in, I think, like 1999 or 2000, when Jerry Garcia's estate, the original person who made the guitar, Doug Irwin, sold it. It went at, I think it was at Sotheby's, for like $1 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was really cool to see all these guitars on display. And I guess, Kendall had a front row seat to them.
That's awesome. All right. And to wrap up the instructor in the news, Tunde's been in the news again. She gave 2 keynotes this past week, one of them being at Rodan and Field. And she did amazingly well. Yeah, so that was really cool. We couldn't seem to find what the second one was, but we do.
I think it's interesting that she spoke at RNF.
Yeah,
because I don't see that many instructors. I think she's the first one to speak at like a multi-level marketing.
Oh,
company.
Interesting. Okay,
this is kind of cool because I think they just had their annual conference. And I think it was was it in Dallas?
I do not know.
Texas
I know
year.
She was traveling a lot, so it was definitely outside of New York. Yeah, I know she had said that she was traveling. Okay. So yeah, all right, good. Well, that wraps up the instructor in the news. There are no birthdays this week. No instructor birthdays. So
none that we missed.
No,
I guess
hopefully
we'll know
we didn't miss any, but no, they weren't.
You didn't miss John Hoskins?
No, I'll never miss his again. Never miss his again, John. All right, so why don't we go?
I do want to mention.
Go for it. Go for it.
I got a message I got a DM last Sunday from Jeffrey McKeecher.
Yes.
Who was listening to the show like he does on Sundays when it comes out, and he says, "I'm cracking up at you laughing at Amanda's flub on Charlotte Wiedenhorn's name." So I just wanted to tell you, he got such a kick out of that.
He
messaged me.
That was so funny. Okay, great. So you see, Chris was lying on a beach in St. Lucia, wherever he was, and couldn't edit it out. But it would have been nice for him to have edited it out for me, right?
Nah, it's fun. It's fun.
That's too fun.
It's a good moment. The show doesn't have to be so perfectly edited.
It doesn't. It makes us real. All right. Well, let's run right into the class picks of the week. And why don't you kick it off?
Okay. All right, so first up is Toon Day's 30-minute Hidden Hills ride from October 11th. We got this from Cara B. Riding. She says, great class and workout. And then Jess King's 30-minute Sweat Steady Low Impact from October 12th. We got this from Armor Jar 3. She says, great playlist and great low impact ride. And Anna Greenberg's 30-minute Evening Yoga Flow from the 13th, also from Armor Jar 3. She says, great way to unwind.
Awesome. And then Matty Majacomo, he had a 60-minute power walk. And this one, I have to say, was one that I did in the airport. So my flight was delayed coming down to Miami, and I just never want to miss a Matty workout. And so I literally had the time. I walked in Reagan National Airport from the one end back and forth 3 times to get through that walk. My husband thought I was nuts, but it was absolutely amazing. And he really, a 60-minute walk is long, and there aren't very many of them.
Did you do it live?
I did it live.
Did you? Let me ask you this. When you were walking, were you walking on the moving floor?
No, moving floor. And I said that to him. I said that to him in my post on social. I said, Matty, I wasn't even on a moving. No, there's no moving floor at Reagan. It was literally the hallway. Okay. I went from Terminal A to Terminal, E and back again. Well, I think it's C
and back,
D-O-E, and back. And it was really great. But that one also came from Everyday Julie Kay. They also said amazing energy and playlist. A must do. And it really was. It was an escapism for, 60 minutes. And he makes it go by so fast. So really a great one. Then Rad Lopez had a 30-minute Latin History Heritage Month celebration. It was an upper body strength from the 14th. This one came from Amy MS Chalk, and Karen Zemskiberi. I'm so sorry, Karen. Zemskiberi. Thank you. Zemskiberi. They said great overall workout. And then Bex had a 60-minute endurance run. That was from the 15th. This one came from E. Miller 26, and they said great music and stories in this class.
All right. Mariana Fernandez's 45-minute pop run from the 15th. Owen Twirls 23 and Kaylee Marie gave us this one. They said great programming and playlist to close out Latin and Hispanic Heritage Month and playlist perfection. And Hannah Corbin's 20-minute rock bar class from the 16th from Armor Jar 3. She says Hannah included some spicy new moves in this class. And then Rebecca Kennedy's 30-minute chest and triceps from October 16th. Got this from Wellness with Angela. She said first class with Rebecca's new split program.
Nice. And then Andy Speer's 30-minute legs and core, also from the 16th. This one also came with Wellness with Angela, also from Andy's new split strength program. And she said this is also great. And then Eric Yeager had a 30-minute full body strength. It was in German from the 16th. Sunny 194 Peloton recommended this one and said very good basic exercises with a great playlist. And then there was a 30-minute 70s pop yoga flow from the 16th with Chelsea Jackson Roberts. Amajar 3 recommended this one and said had to include this because she played Village People.
Right. Next up, Kirsten Ferguson's 20-minute Caribbean run from October 17th. Plant-powered mom. And Jenny Gets Glaze submitted this one. And the only comment was incredible playlist. And then Jermaine Johnson's 10-minute upper body strength from October 18th. We got this from Maria Cooch. She says, so simple, but good. And then I'll let you close it out with the last one.
And I will close it out with my pick of the week. So this one goes out to my beautiful Mariana. Mariana Fernandez did a 20-minute yoga conditioning. It was a full body on the 18th. I would never have done an evening yoga flow. But I was around on Wednesday night. Mark was out of town and it came on. Oh my word. Firstly, it was as hard AF. She used weights. I've never done a yoga class with weights before. So she used
like little 2-pound
weights, little 2-pound weights. Yep. Just dumbbells, yoga blocks. But oh my gosh, when I woke up Thursday morning, like my body hurt.
Feeling it?
I really felt it. So I loved the fact that I could incorporate both, the yoga and the strength, because I tend not to do enough strength, even though I'm really, really trying. And I mean, she just had the most perfect playlist. It was absolutely fantastic. So really, really enjoyed that. So if you want something different, it was kind of so funny though, because when she started it, she couldn't remember if it was in English or in Spanish, and she was panicking in the pre-show. I wish I had taped it, although I didn't want to embarrass her again. But now I'm embarrassing her. But she was like,
so she figured it out
before she was like, guys, what? And I'm like, well, do you have notes on it? But maybe her notes are all in Spanish because that comes easier to her. It was so funny to see. She was like, I don't know what this is. Maybe we'll just do it in Spanglish. But it was an English class, and it was fantastic. So huge shout out to Mariana for that class.
You guys, you two are so chatty. Did she tell you how disappointed she was that she missed me at Peloton on tour Chicago?
Yeah, she was so disappointed.
We never connected there.
Your name didn't come up. Sorry.
cried herself to sleep.
I'm going to have to ask her if she. I can't actually. I never even thought of asking you that question. So you never got to see her in all that time that you were there?
No, she came, I think, so during the strength class, Tunde, Logan, and Mariana, they came out, they were sort of standing at the front by the stage, but then after it was over, they just jetted off to like the back.
Interesting.
So that was like the only time I was
that on Saturday?
She taught a class that I wasn't in.
Was that on Saturday?
Yeah.
You know what, her and Logan had.
Yeah, that was the last class of the day.
And I do know that her and Logan had to like sprint out of there to go and get their bibs for the marathon. So, to go and get their bibs for the marathon. So that's probably what ended up happening. Is that,
so I never got a chance. Because she's one of the ones I haven't met.
I was just going to ask you, you've never met her in real. Oh, okay, we got to fix that for you, John.
Her and Bex. I've never met Bex either.
Wow.
And Camilla.
Wow.
And Camilla, surprisingly enough.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta. You just let me know when you want to meet Mariana, and I'll fix it. I'll arrange that for you.
You'll hook it up.
She's such a love. She's such a love. All right, we got to do that. All right. Well, I guess we got through it with a couple technical issues in the middle, but we got those fixed. Hopefully, you won't even know that we had technical issues in the middle. But yeah.
No F-bombs.
No, Chris Lewis wasn't able to be on today. So it was just the John and Amanda show.
This was a PG rated podcast.
Even without
audience
Chris.
rating.
Exactly. Even without Chris. All right. Well, you know what? It put a smile on my face. So I'm happy that I was able to do this. As I said to you guys, I love being able to do this. So it makes me happy, and we needed to be happy. So this was great. And you always make me happy, John, now that you're nice to me, now that you're not nasty to me anymore. So I got to give you a hard time. All right, folks. Well, hopefully we will have lots more to share with you next week. It's always a pleasure being here. I am down in beautiful South Miami this week and next. So for me down here, bye for now, everybody.
And for me here in gray and rainy Michigan currently, thank you for tuning in, watching from all over. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.